Hey y'all, and welcome back to the NFL Quick Talk podcast. As always, like and subscribe, follow on Spotify. This will be a one of two part tier ranking of NFL total offense and NFL total defense. This one will be NFL total offense. Total defense will be out in a few. Let's get right into it. Hopefully, y'all remember the S to D scale. S being the best, D being the worst. Total offense, we're going to go right in. Going right up to S tier with the Cincinnati Bengals. Elite QB in Joe Burrow, proven winner. Elite wide receivers. You got three studs. Tyler Boyd in the slot. You got T. Higgins and Jamar Chase on the outside. And they should be one of the leaders, and they should be top three passing team. And their O-line got a significant upgrade in Orlando Brown Jr., and the running game should be solid, top 10 with Joe Mixon. Moving on, we're going to C tier with the Atlanta Falcons. Falcons offense, I think, will be very run-heavy. They have Bijan Robinson, newly drafted from Texas, and Tyler Algier, who ran for over 1,000 last season. Their passing their passing offense will be a little bit touch and go, to say the least, with Kyle Pitts, who doesn't get thrown the ball a whole ton, even though he was drafted 4th overall to just catch the ball as a tight end. And Drake London, who was drafted in the first round, showed some spurts, didn't get enough consistent quarterback play. Hopefully they get that this year in Desmond Ridder, but I don't think Desmond Ridder is going to be too great of a QB. So they're going to go in C tier for now. Going up to A tier, we have the Dallas Cowboys. The Cowboys offense was one of the most explosive last season. They have CeeDee Lamb on the outside, who is a top 5, top 10, maybe top 7 receiver. Dak Prescott, during the regular season, and he's not choking away playoff games, is usually, first of all, throwing a lot of picks, which is bad for him. But for total offense, he's throwing a lot of touchdowns and throwing for a lot of yards. So that, with the addition of making Tony Pollard a full-time back with a great offensive line again, they're not S tier by any means, but they are solidly an A tier team. Going to B tier, down one, we have the Baltimore Ravens, and this one was very hard for me because I think they are very borderline. They're a B+++, if you could say, but they don't have quite enough to make A tier because just their offensive line is still top 5, but they lost a starter in Ben Powers. Their running back room is awfully thin with guys like Melvin Gordon, who are really washed, and then you have not Mark Ingram. I forget, J.K. Dobbins, that's the name, and he has been injured a ton in his career. Hopefully, the injuries can stop so that Lamar, when he's fully healthy, he had the 2019 season where he was MVP and voted best player in the NFL then. I don't think that's going to happen because he's not the same guy as he was in 2019, believe it or not. That was 4 years ago. And, excuse me, he should, if he comes back to play any amount of games at all, he should take this team to a nice record, and that should be it. Okay, going down to D, we have the Arizona Cardinals. The Cardinals offense will be without Kyler Murray for the first couple games. They haven't released how much he's going to miss, but he's going to miss some time, which means that you have good old Colt McCoy at the offense. Guy can't really throw that well. Guy can't really run. So they're going to have to rely on James Conner and a terrible offensive line, one of the worst graded by PFF in the whole league. And James Conner is going to have no one to run behind. You have Marquise Brown on the outside, but that's about it. And they are going to be a not very well-rounded offensive team, and by default, putting them in D category is a lock. Moving on, we have the Buffalo Bills in S tier because Josh Allen is just a very, very, very good quarterback, And he has a all everything, all pro, all everything wide out in Stephon Diggs. Even though Stephon Diggs may want out in the coming years, he's still going to play with them this year. And their running game should take a step up with Dalvin Cook's brother, James Cook. And then an upgraded offensive line should help them out. Going down to B tier, we have the Cleveland Browns. The Browns haven't Deshaun Watson hasn't proven that he is an A tier quarterback or even an S tier quarterback. So this team will only go as far as the quarterback will take them. Like last year, you had a journeyman quarterback in Jacoby Brissett. They went the journeyman's way, going 7-10. So this team is a bit of an unknown. They could finish second. They could finish last very easily. As soon their running back room and with Nick Chubb, the top 3 running back, and a top 5 offensive line should help them, but they've had that for the past couple years and they've still treaded water, so I can't really trust them to put for the running game to put them over the hump, but it would be the passing game. Again, going back to Deshaun Watson, they did upgrade it at wideout, getting Elijah Moore from the Jets. They still have Amari Cooper and Donovan Peoples-Jones playing in the slot, but it has to be B tier because they haven't proven anything yet. What you'll see with most of these A and S tier teams, most of them, is that they've proven that they've been S and A tier. Browns have not proven that they could be anywhere close to that so far. Okay, going to D tier, you have the Carolina Panthers, an unknown at quarterback who drafted Bryce Young first overall. He wasn't really, in my opinion, the greatest quarterback to ever come out. People are saying that he's going to be the greatest. His stature is going to really play, being 5'10" in the NFL. But besides that, they don't have very many weapons for him. The offensive line is mediocre. I know they got Ike Ekwonu a couple years ago in the draft. He's a stud, but everyone else is just not that great. And for running backs, they did get Miles Sanders, although he will not be good in every down back situation. He is not a number 1 back. He was better suited in his role at Philly, where he was getting pulled off the field for breathers and letting other running backs come in to do that. So he was better suited in Philly. I don't think that he will be doing he'll get tons of yards for sure because they'll hand the ball off to him 9 times out of 10, but he's going to get banged up. Stuff like that happens. Going up to A tier, we have the Detroit Lions. This is a bit of a surprise even to myself that I put them up there, but they have a proven quarterback in Jared Goff. Everyone remembers him for the deal. They traded for him for the Rams. Keep in mind, he took the Rams to a Super Bowl. Yes, they had a great defense, but he was the quarterback. He threw in 5 separate games last season for the Lions. He threw over 300 yards. I think that was a league leader, and I think this offense will just keep getting better. Jamal Williams coming back after he serves his, I think, 4 or 5 game suspension. And I think they will be a very good offense. Going to C tier, we have the Chicago Bears. The Bears have a bunch of mediocre wideouts in Chase Claypool and the tight end Cole Kmet. They have a wide receiver that is significantly better than them in DJ Moore, even though DJ Moore is not, in my opinion, a top 7-ish. He could be top 10. I haven't done an NFL rankings yet. I'm working on something to that effect, but I don't think he is up there with the better wide receivers in the NFL. So, and it all comes down to quarterback play, and Justin Fields basically just runs. He doesn't really pass. He's an inaccurate passer, untimely passer. But his legs will carry this team to C tier. Otherwise, I would have put them at D tier. Their offensive line is mediocre. And their running backs, Khalil Herbert, as exciting as he may look, is injured a lot. And that's the story on them. Moving on to the Los Angeles Rams in D tier. They, in my opinion, will trade Cooper Kupp at the deadline. They will not have a very good record at the trade deadline. I think that that's going to be a move that will happen. And then once that happens, if when it happens, their offense will even you saw them last year. Their offense was not good. They were D category without Cooper Kupp, and I don't think he will A, stay on the field enough, or B, he will be traded. So I don't think that he will be impacting this offense very much this year. Going up to B tier, Denver Broncos. Hopefully with Sean Payton they get better, but they were atrocious last season, and I think that they will take steps to get there. But having Tim Patrick out for the season and Jerry Jeudy being injured, that doesn't help Russell Wilson at all. Going up to S tier, you have the Philadelphia Eagles. No, they're cooking on all cylinders right now. They got everyone going. Jalen Hurts is an MVP candidate. Everything is awesome there. Down to A tier with the Dolphins. This all rides on Tua Tagovailoa's shoulders. If he can stay on the field, they can be possibly an S tier team with the wideouts that they have in Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill. But I just don't know if he can stay on the field long enough to do that. Down to C tier, the Green Bay Packers, they were a borderline team for me with D tier, but they have a solid offensive line and two solid backs in Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon. I don't think the quarterback play will be good. They have a bunch of young wideouts who I think could flourish into something, but I don't think they will. And for that, C tier. Going down to D tier, we have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Baker Mayfield's an awful quarterback, and his backup is on the same level, Kyle Trask. They will both, if Kyle Trask even gets in, it will not be much better. The wideout situation is pretty good with Chris Godwin and Mike Evans, but their offensive line lost a ton of stuff. Tristan Wirfs is going through mental health problems right now, and he's their only good back there. Rashad White, their number one running back, is a big step down from Leonard Fournette. They're D tier. Going up to C tier, the Las Vegas Raiders, they replaced Derek Carr and Darren Waller with Jimmy Garoppolo and Austin Hooper. That's not going to do it. I know they still have Josh Jacobs and Devontae Adams, but that will not matter because they will be bad. Going up to S tier, San Francisco 49ers. Kyle Shanahan's a genius. He's a genius, and he will take whatever quarterback is there and elevate them to superstar level. They got playmakers all over the field. They will be just fine. Going down to D tier again, we are going to round this group out with the Houston Texans. A lot of unknowns. CJ Stroud's going to be thrown to a lot of trashy wide receivers. I'm not sure if they will even win 4 or 5 games this year. If they do, it would be their defense. Going up to B tier, we have the Minnesota Vikings. Kirk Cousins can still sling it, and he's got a first-round rookie wide receiver to help him in Jordan Addison with the undisputed number one wide receiver in Jay Jetta's Justin Jefferson. Going up to A tier, New York Jets. They got the all-pro, all-everything Aaron Rodgers. They got the Rookie of the Year, Garrett Wilson. They're going to be just fine. Rounding out S tier, we have the Kansas City Chiefs. They have the best quarterback in the league by a long shot. They have the best tight end in the league by a long shot. Their running game is superb. Their offensive game is just superb. They are undisputed S tier. That rounds out S tier. A tier, we're going to round out by the last remaining 3 teams. We have the Seahawks. Geno Smith, I think, won't fall off. I think he'll stay right where he was last season, and they got Jackson Smith and Jigba, a first-round wide receiver to play slot. Those wide receivers with Tyler Lockett, and DK Metcalf look awesome. They got 2 running backs that are awesome in Zach Charbonnet, a rookie, and Walker, Kenneth Walker, the third from last year's draft. They're awesome. Next up, we have the Jacksonville Jaguars. They are awesome because they have Trevor Lawrence, they have Calvin Ridley, they got some running backs, they got A tier here. Last team in A tier, we have the Los Angeles Chargers. They signed Justin Herbert to that Supermax deal. Everything's going to be just fine out there because they got Quentin Johnson in the first round. Notice all these teams, they got wide receivers in the first round to help their wide receivers core with these 3 teams, with these 2 teams. Anyway, enough of that. That rounds out A tier. We're going to go down to C tier and round out them with the last 2 remaining teams. We have the Indianapolis Colts, very unproven team. Not sure what to make of them yet, but being safe here and putting them in C tier. New England Patriots last season was atrocious. Their offense was a D tier. Getting an actual offensive coordinator will help them, but still, they haven't proven that they can do anything with that offense, so C tier. Stick with me here. We got 4 teams left, all in tier B. We got the Pittsburgh Steelers. They are unproven. They can go up to A tier. They got lots of weapons everywhere and they got upgraded the offensive line substantially. Washington Commanders, I think, will be underrated. They got some wideouts that are legit. They got a running back that's legit too. We got the Tennessee Titans. The Titans got the Titans got D-Hop. They have Ryan Tannehill, who ain't the greatest quarterback, but he'll do to throw the ball to someone. They still got King Henry back there in the backfield. They'll be just fine. The New Orleans Saints will be our last team here in B tier. They got Derek Carr. They still have Michael Thomas, who I am very high on if he's ever not injured. And they still have Chris Olave, who is an awesome wide receiver. Thank you all for watching the NFL Quick Talk podcast. Find my latest actual news video in episode 9, I think it was, and follow us on Spotify. Like and subscribe. It means a lot. Please subscribe. We got half our listeners not subscribed. It would mean a ton if you did that for us. Part 2 of the tier rankings video will be out soon, and we have a lot more new exciting content coming out. See you soon.